Coming up tonight on YCN News, around 49 marijuana plants are seized outside a home in Wilmot, New Hampshire. A $5 million expansion at Ragged Mountain in Danbury, New Hampshire will bring a new high-speed lift. And we'll continue our series of financial reports with recommendations on leaving a legacy. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to this Thursday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. About 49 marijuana plants were seized outside a home at 178 Stearns Road in Wilmot, New Hampshire yesterday afternoon. A squad from the New Hampshire State Police Narcotics and Investigations Unit investigated the outdoor pot farm. State Police did not say what or who led them to investigate the property. The search centered on the unlawful manufacturing of marijuana from an outdoor growing location, land outside the Stearns Road home. The street value of the seized plants is about $25,000, say police. Police have identified a suspect in the pot growing. They have not released the identity of this person. Today, a woman with apparent intimate knowledge of the plants spoke candidly to a YCN News reporter on the scene. She did not identify herself, yet clearly she wanted to tell her side of the story. The marijuana is used to help a man with back problems. There is no selling of the pot plants from the home, nor any distribution. In a call to state police today, no further information about the plant's seizure or investigation was given. While the woman speaks about the marijuana being used for medicinal use, state police remind viewers New Hampshire law does not permit this use. This investigation into the incident continues. A second phone call to state police by YCN News was not returned by the airtime. Meanwhile, anyone with more information may call the New Hampshire State Police Narcotics and Investigations Unit at 603-223-8447. As foliage season continues, so does the winter sports season approach. As skiers prepare themselves to get up the mountain, so are plans underway to make that easier at one local ski resort. A $5 million expansion at Ragged Mountain Resort in Danbury, New Hampshire will result in a new high-speed lift. Yesterday, a concrete pour as part of the resort's upgrades took place. Let's learn more about resort improvements.
Pacific Group bought the Ragged Mountain Ski Resort in May of 2007, and there really, honestly, there was a bunch of infrastructure items and deferred maintenance that needed to be caught up on, and so we spent the first probably 5 years mostly doing that, fixing things that just hadn't been paid much attention to. But since then, we've actually put about $20 million into snowmaking equipment, 14,000 feet of new snowmaking pipe, new pump houses, new manifold valves. Not very glamorous stuff, but stuff that's very important. Now we're really excited because we get to focus on the things that are starting to come out of the ground. We get to focus on new chairlifts, like the new Doppelmayr quad, high-speed quad that we're putting in. The tubing park that we installed at the beginning of this year, 2014, and we get to hopefully start a little bit more construction projects next spring. So very excited about what's been going on here in this beautiful area, which is what attracted us to it in the beginning, and now what we're being able to make it into.
We're a very family-friendly mountain. There's something for everyone off of just about every lift, where kids can go take a run through the terrain park. We've got expert terrain for mom and dad, and we've got great beginner terrain and great lesson programs here. And in addition, there's just such a variety of terrain that it skis much bigger than it really feels. We have currently 250 acres. That is 55 runs, 11 gladed trails, and we're looking to expand that by 35 to 40%. More development onto Pinnacle Peak, which is the third peak to the east. and also a little bit more development on the western edge of the resort, which will expand our skiing terrain by 35 to 40%. That side of the mountain is a lot of fun. It's a lot of great top-to-bottom skiing, lots of top-to-bottom runs that are all continuous. And there's a little bit of something for everyone. One of the most popular trails for families and beginners is Cardigan Turnpike. It's a green circle trail that goes from the top to the bottom. And then we also have Showboat, which is a black diamond run that runs right under the lift, which is also fantastic. And it also opens up a lot of exploration into the gladed areas that runs in between both of the lifts. The glades here are very, very awesome. They're a lot of fun to ski and ride in the wintertime when we've got fresh snow. It really changes the dynamic of this mountain and the way it skis and rides. It makes this mountain so much bigger than it really looks on the outside. We hope to open this year on December 4th or 5th for our benefit day, and that will benefit Children's Hospital at Dartmouth. One of the best ways to find out more information is to visit our website, which is www.raggedmountainresort.com.
It could be a winter similar to last year, per the Old Farmer's Almanac. That may make skiers happy. We're not deciding for anyone else. Continuing with YCN's focus on local news, a ceremony this Sunday will honor the life of Chad Denning. Denning, 39, an accomplished outdoor athlete, died unexpectedly on September 7th. Denning was running on Beaver Brook Trail along the Appalachian Trail near Mount Moosilauke when he collapsed. Denning earlier served as New London's Director of Recreation. He could not be revived, a New Hampshire Fish and Game press release reported. Denning was married and the father of 2 young children. He was well known in athlete circles throughout the region. A celebration of Chad's life will take place this weekend from 1 to 3 p.m. on Sunday on the New London Town Green. Family and friends will gather to remember Chad Denning. In the event of rain, the ceremony will be moved indoors to the New London Outing Club building. If you would like to email any pictures or memories of Chad, you may do so online at rememberingchaddenning@gmail.com. When YCN News returns, our financial report will bring some recommendations on leaving a legacy.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. We'll continue our series of financial reports with recommendations on leaving a legacy.
So that's a great question. A lot of people feel like they want to leave something for their grandkids to get them a good start in life. And keep in mind, though, the first priority should be making sure that you are financially secure yourself for the rest of your life. Because you're not doing any favors to your family if you deplete your own savings over your lifetime. So really this is a question of how do you make sure that your assets last for the rest of your life so that you actually will have something to provide for your family when you're gone. So everyone should have some kind of a mix of cash, bonds, and stocks, generally well into your later retirement years. So let's start with cash. Cash is the best protection against your portfolio losing more value than it needs to. In other words, if you have cash available for your expenses, say for a 12-month or even 2-year period, then that gives you money to fall back on so that you're never forced to sell your stock investments if there's a down market. You can wait for them to recover. The second thing is managing the volatility in your portfolio by investing in a combination of stocks and bonds. It's not always the case, but most of the time if stocks go up, bonds underperform, and when stocks go down, bonds carry their weight more efficiently. So it makes sense to have some of each in your portfolio, especially as you're getting older and your priority is making your money last. Sure, there's a few common financial disasters that we see often as people go through life. And one of the first ones could be some kind of illness or disability. So it's important to know if your employer offers disability insurance, what does it actually cover? What would you actually receive every month if you were disabled? If that's not enough to cover your bills, you should really consider purchasing an individual disability policy outside of what your employer offers to make sure that your family would be financially secure if you couldn't work for a period of time for some reason. This is Martha Mackey, your local Edward Jones financial advisor, located at 54 Opera House Square in Claremont, New Hampshire, member SIPC.
Turning to a health note, walking in general is a great way to stay in shape. Walking also gives one time to think, and in this case, time to help out a worthy cause. Arthritis knows no age barriers. Even children can be affected. As the Centers for Disease Control note on its website, cdc.gov, arthritis is the nation's most common cause of disability. 52.5 million adults are affected by arthritis. A fundraising walk this weekend hopes to raise money for research leading to a cure of arthritis. A walk in the Upper Valley dedicated to this cause is set for Saturday. Registration begins at 9 a.m. at Alice Peck Day Hospital in Lebanon, New Hampshire. The walk begins at 10 a.m. For more information about the Walk to Cure Arthritis, contact Matthew Raffio at mraffio@arthritis.org or call 603-724-6080. When YCN News returns, we'll join Upper Valley Chronicles' Ann Holmes, who met with Audra LaChance and Larissa Cahill from the Claremont Repertory Theater.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next few days and then move on to sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tonight we'll have mostly clear skies with winds between 5 and 10 miles per hour. Lows will be in the 30s with frost expected after 4 a.m. Tomorrow morning will be frosty until around 8 a.m. Then we'll have sunny skies and highs in the upper 50s. Tomorrow night we'll have some patchy fog after 1 a.m. with lows in the upper 30s. Saturday will be partly sunny with winds up to 10 miles an hour and a high of 68 degrees. Saturday night we'll have lows around 55 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. On our satellite map we can see that we are still clear from any rainstorms. The next couple of days should be mostly clear. Now let's see what's coming up on our community calendar. Tomorrow in New Hampshire the Cornish Select Board will meet at 3 p.m. At 7 p.m., the Sunapee Methodist Church will host a coffee house featuring Bill Staines. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. Now let's take a look at local high school sports, notably girls field hockey. There were 2 Vermont games yesterday involving our local teams. One such game was Hartford versus Woodstock. The Hartford Hurricanes played hard, scoring a 1-0 victory over the Woodstock Wasps. Hartford's Megan Newton scored the only goal in the game. Hartford's record is now 2 wins and 3 losses. Another field hockey game involved Windsor and Springfield. Windsor trampled their opponent in a staggering 8-0 win. Windsor's record sits at 4 wins and 1 loss.
Thanks, Matt. When YCN News continues, we'll join Lisa Connell, who interviewed Randall Ballmer, author of a new biography on Jimmy Carter.
The YCN News continues in a moment.